Welcome everybody to Funeral Nation episode 180. I'm Ryan Thogmartin. That is Jeff the Funeral Commander Harbison. And this is the funeral profession's only weekly news web show, bringing you all that is happening in the profession by two amazing looking gentlemen.
Well, thank you very much, there, young man. You know, I'm here and we never miss a show up in the frozen tundra of Michigan. There's snow outside. I bought a coat. It's a great day. I've been this week to Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, and Michigan. So we don't miss a beat. And, you know, if you're looking for someone like you and I who are really in touch with what's going on out here, we're in the field, in the trenches. Agreed?
Agreed. And I got to just throw a positive on your scenario right now. You have to have the best tan out of anybody in those 4 states that you were in this week.
Yeah, well, I make sure that when I'm back in Phoenix on weekends that I lay out a little bit so I can keep this nice color. You know, it works out well.
Good move.
Speaking of nice and traveling, the reason I'm doing this is with cnjfinancial.com. You know, we are having a great time out here and literally making it easier for funeral directors to have that icky conversation about having how they collect their money. We're making that easier, having a great time. Shout out to our friends at Crest Funeral Home. They knocked it out earlier this week. But anyway, let's go ahead and run our promo.
C&J Financial and CFS are excited to announce a powerful yet simple solution to help thousands of funeral homes and families with the challenges that life insurance assignments can bring. Insurance companies are often a hassle to deal with, and claims can take weeks or months before payment is received. If you're tired of the hassle and cash flow delay in processing insurance death claims, C&J's Fast Funding program can help. With the new seamless integration between the two companies, CFS client families can submit preliminary insurance information to your firm through your website prior to the arrangement conference. The final assignment information is sent to C&J via the Insurance Assignment tab in your website management console. Once the claim is submitted, C&J will verify the benefits, and as soon as verification is obtained, payment is made to your firm, usually within 24 to 48 hours. C&J and CFS are committed to simplifying the lives of funeral directors so you can focus your time serving families.
So Ryan, earlier I saw that you posted about being an entrepreneur and traveling. People just don't understand sometimes how difficult that is. It's not as sexy as it seems, and it's a grind. Don't you agree?
It absolutely is. I mean, hopping on jets 3 days a week it can sound great from afar. And I don't want to, we're blessed to be able to do what we do, right? Like we get to do what we love.
Agree.
Every single day. We get to hang out with great people that we care a lot about. But there's a big sacrifice that goes into the travel side of the business. Like there's a lot of things that are missed. Like family dinners don't happen a lot of times. Like, I don't know. Like I think I got frustrated because someone said, "Oh, you own your own business. How lucky." Like, "Oh, you got lucky this happened." You know, like most people didn't.
It just doesn't happen.
No, there's a lot of hard work and intentionality that goes into getting lucky. So I don't know. I think that struck a chord with me.
It's the same in the funeral business. Why is one firm doing better than another? Because they work harder at it.
That's right.
Okay, they're not necessarily getting on the plane, but they're working their services better. They're educating their funeral directors, and they're taking care of their families. So when you fuss about somebody that's doing better, take a look at yourself first. Anyway. Enough about that. Speaking of changes out here and doing something different, Everloved has been around for a little bit, but today that website maybe had a little more because they're getting into the product side of the business, yes?
Yes. So Everloved launched a few years ago by an ex-Googler, so an ex-Google employee. A lot of money behind the website itself. It launches a memorial website where people could create free memorials. Today, they launched their online funeral marketplace that's got everything from caskets, urns, headstones, down to memorial jewelry and some other products. So, like, this isn't new, right? Like, there's a dime a dozen websites that you can get funeral-related product on, but when we look at things that are going to disrupt this profession, we can't continue to keep our heads in the sand when it comes to how consumers want to be able to purchase the services and the products that a funeral home offers. Like, there are hundreds of millions of dollars in online funeral marketplaces. And is it massively hurting the profession? No, but it's taking tens of millions of dollars away from the profession in funeral homes and cemeteries every year. And look, we can ignore it for right now. We can like turn a blind eye, but here's the deal. Like, it didn't disrupt when Walmart started selling caskets. It didn't disrupt when Costco started doing it, but there's a little website called Amazon that's working on a funeral category. Right now, there are millions of funeral-related products, urns, and things available through Amazon, but they are in like a home goods category. They are not in a funeral-specific Amazon with funeral under it category. When that happens, and they are working on it, you and I both have been privy to conversations with people who are putting product into that have been contacted by Amazon. When that launches, watch out. Like, they have absolutely disrupted every single profession that they're getting into. I just read an article of the 10 most recognizable companies that are filing bankruptcy or are in extreme financial distress. Walgreens, CVS. Why? Amazon started doing prescriptions last year, and they bought a healthcare company to provide prescriptions through Amazon. Like, when they get into something, it disrupts. And the funeral space is a billion-dollar, multi-billion-dollar industry that has been virtually untapped in that regard. So we can't continue to just push little websites like this off, because at some point, the big player will jump into the space. And if funeral homes aren't prepared to meet the consumer and offer products and services to the consumer in the ways that the consumer wants to purchase them, somebody else is going to do it.
Right. And it's all the more reason that you have a healthy website that's updated, it's warm, it has information about your products, about your services, even more so about your people, right? You need to offer aftercare. You need to be transparent. If you don't find something on the website, ask yourself as a consumer, what do? You move on.
That's
I
right.
went last night looking for restaurants, not on a website. I actually drove past one and asked them, well, we just don't have a web page. Well, I ate there. It was great. But I just wonder, if you're not local, how does it minimize your business?
That's right.
And it's all not tech driven. Get out in the community, have aftercare. We've got our friends from Skyways that they have a planning guide. Make relationships. That's what the business is. The life and the world is changing, how we communicate. So you need to change as well. Speaking of world changing and communicating, today you had a really good webinar with Jake Johnson.
Yeah. So Jake wrote a book, Staying Alive in the Cemetery and Funeral Profession. Great play on words. Jake sent me the book a few months ago, and just as a courtesy, hey, check it out. I loved it. Thought it was insanely applicable, not only just in the funeral and cemetery space. Like, it's just a great business book. But there are some things that I learned through there, but just how funeral homes are evaluated. He touches on every aspect of the business, from culture to employees to succession planning, down to like the value of your pre-need when it's on the book. Like, just so much. They put their success matrix in there that's like a checklist for you to use. A lot of value. But Jake and I did a webinar today to talk a little bit about the book, some facets of the book, social, how it applies to some of the things he talked about in the book, and then really the next 10 years. So that is going to be dropping most likely this week. We'll be putting it out through Connecting Directors, that full live webinar recording. But Jake's a great guy, like super, super smart. And it's really cool to get his perspective because he's been on both sides of the coin. I mean, a lot like you. He's a funeral home owner. He's worked in a cemetery, spent 20 years doing that. And now is running Johnson Consulting Group. So he's got, a great mind to play on both sides of the field, on the fence, but good stuff. Like, it was a great webinar. I think we talked a lot about some poignant topics in the profession. Some were going to irritate people and prod them, but look, you got to move. You got to go towards the consumer. You can't just stay in the rut and wait for them to come to you.
Yeah, like my favorite motto, I'm not going to tell you to go to hell. I'm going to tell you the truth, and it feels like hell.
That's right.
Sometimes, if it's uncomfortable, you need to listen a little bit harder.
Yes.
Speaking of listening, I have a special listener out there, a great young lady in my life named Chloe. So I'm giving you that shout out. I told you you would, but keep doing a great job, and I appreciate you being a listener.
Yeah. What's up, Chloe? Thanks for being a fan.
All right, man. So it's time for me to put on a tie, believe it or not, and my new overcoat, and get out here and slosh in the snow and get to work with a funeral home.
I got to ask you, like, I'm sure your ears are getting cold. So I want to know, are you using like 180 wraparounds, or there's no way you're putting a stocking cap on over that flowing locks you have there?
I'm so vain. In fact, that song was written about me. There you go. That I would, my ears will fall off before I put on a hat. So it's
Oh,
just the way
dang.
it's going to
Okay.
happen.
Do you remember how to drive in the snow?
I don't. My friend Rob Bryce and I are here together. We actually have a pickup truck, and I'm just sitting over there riding along on my social media, Facebook, reading, and he's been a great chauffeur. So yes, I need him in my life this week.
All right. Well, you need to Instagram story your endeavors with him, because Rob's a pretty fun guy.
Yeah, he is. He's an interesting cat, and we're having a great time on the road together, and we will for about the next 4 to 5 weeks.
Can I predict, though, that by the end of this world traveling with him, you're going to be a youth softball coach?
No, I am a supporter. Rob may want me in the stands to cheer and heckle the other team, but I'm going to leave that professional side of the business to him.
Good stuff. All right, we got to mention our friends at Plotbox. We will have them on. We're excited about it. Neil's excited about the partnership that we've been able to put together. You've got a personal connection and story to the creators and owners of Plotbox. Super cool company doing amazing things on the cemetery side of the business. Massive undertaking what they do at the cemetery, but really bringing cemeteries digitally into the 21st century and allowing families to do really cool things to connect with cemeteries online.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to having them on. They're just wonderful folks, and what they created is just brilliant.
Brilliant. With a B.
All right, dude.
Brilliant.
So here we
Okay.
go.
All right.
Another week in the books. This is coming out. If you're not watching this, you're wrong. This is where you get all the up-to-date news and commentary. Remember, most of the time we don't make the news. We're just reporting it, so don't shoot the messenger.
That's right. All right. Enjoy the snow and a little bit of my weather.
All right, bro. Thank you.
See ya.
Out here.